In this session, we will see how to deploy a servlet, or we will see the life cycle of a servlet in the servlet container, and we can also call it as a servlet skeleton. To execute the servlet, actually we need some library. Okay, the library is not provided by Java. The main important point is the servlet API required for execution in the server is not provided by Java. It is provided by the web server vendors. Let us take an example, Tomcat. So Apache group Tomcat will provide the API required. Okay, the API provided for servlets is contained in two packages. One package you call it as javax.servlet.star and one more is javax.servlet.http. Okay. When you write a Java program with servlet, then you have to import these two packages in Java. So finally, the servlet API is provided by the vendors of a web server. We don't have in Java, you don't have the API for servlet, but servlet will have the access to complete Java API. Whatever the classes, interfaces, packages you have in Java, everything a servlet can access. Okay. So only the first step, we need to import the servlet API. Okay. Next. So before getting this servlet API, okay, we need to install XAMPP server. When you install XAMPP server, you will get a control panel like this. On this control panel, you have to select which one you want. If you want Apache, MySQL, Tomcat. So my requirement now is a Tomcat. So once you start this server, it will shows the port number as 8080. Okay, this 8080 is the port number on which your Tomcat is running. This port number is very important while accessing the servlet. So install the XAMPP. Once you install, just start the server, Tomcat server, web server. Okay. After this, you need to do one more step, that is setting the environment variables. Because servlets are not part of Java API, it is your responsibility to set the class path where that servlets are available. For that, you need to go to environment variables. You need to go to edit the system environment variables. In that environment variables, I need to set two things. One is Catalina underscore home. Okay. Catalina underscore home is the name of the servlet container. That servlet container is installed in XAMPP Tomcat. Okay. So where it is installed, the path of that we need to specify. One more is class path. Okay. The class path where that servlet API is available. So in C XAMPP Tomcat lib, in lib, there is one thing called servlet-api.jar. If you have this jar file, you can import successfully these two packages. Otherwise, you cannot get this. Okay. So what is my next step? Once you install the XAMPP, you need to set up environment variables. Okay. Here only I said the JSP API related environment variable also. Okay. If you want to work with JSP, then you have to use JSP-API.jar. I will show these two in our system. When you install, when you install XAMPP in C drive, XAMPP in that, if you go to Tomcat, okay, if you go to Tomcat, this is the web container servlet container name. Means your servlet is deployed in this container. Next, in lib, you see servlet-api.jar file is there. So this path you need to set for class path. Similarly, for JSP also you have JSP-api.jar. So this is the way we need to set first environment variables after installing XAMPP. Okay. The next step is you need to create a project structure. This is important for any web service, web applications in server side programming. Okay. So create the project structure. How the project structure is created is, first you have to go to your Tomcat. in the Tomcat there is one folder called web apps. I will show that once again to you. In XAMPP Tomcat there is one folder called web apps. So all your applications must reside in this only. Okay, my folder name is my apps. As of now, to demonstrate, I used one folder called my apps. So where this my apps should be? In XAMPP Tomcat web apps, I created one folder called my apps. Okay, so the name of my folder is my apps. Okay, next step. Inside this my apps, there must be one folder called web-inf. Web-inf. Inside this web-inf, there is one more folder called classes. Okay, so your servlet dot class files must appear in this particular folder only. Okay, so first thing, go to web apps. In that, create your folder. Whatever the application folder name you want, you can give. I gave here my name as my apps. In my apps, create one folder web-inf. In that again classes. So your java.class servlet file should be inside this classes folder. Next, your .java files should be inside one folder called source folder. Okay, if any libraries we will use, right? If you want to use JDBC drivers, right? So those libraries should come into, there is one folder called lib. Okay, and along with all these things, one important file you have to create, that is called web.xml file, where this web.xml file should be inside the web-inf only. Okay, so I will show the project structure completely by moving my window. Okay, so in C drive, XAMPP, there is one folder called Tomcat. In that web apps. Okay, in web apps, my folder name is my apps. Inside my apps, there is again one folder web-inf. Inside, there is one folder classes. There I have to keep my dot class file. Lib folder, if any libraries I have to keep there. Source folder, all your Java source files you have to keep here. Along with that, there must be one web.xml file. What is its purpose? I will tell you in the next stage. So web.xml file is required. So if you go back to this structure, so this is the total information required by your web server, that is container, servlet container. Next, other than this, any of the HTML files, JavaScript files, images, JSP files, CSS files, all should be placed in your my servlet, my apps folder. Okay, so my folder name is, what is that? My apps. So this project structure is very important when you are executing a server side program. Okay, inside web apps, you have to go with, what is that? My apps, and continue this structure. That is over. So once you create a project structure, my next step is I need to create a Java servlet file. Okay, Java servlet file. So what is my Java servlet is doing in this example, you know? Okay, so where this servlet file should be? Inside web apps, my apps, web-inf, in that there is one source folder. Okay, there you have to place this source file. What it will contain? Every servlet class, this is name of my servlet, every servlet must extend one class called generic servlet. Okay, so you have to inherit every class from the generic servlet. This generic servlet is provided in the package javax.servlet.star. Okay, so there may be possibility of IO exceptions. You need to install java.io.star also. I am repeating, every servlet has to extend from generic servlet. Next, as you know from yesterday's life cycle of servlet, every servlet will have to execute three methods by the web container. One is init for initialization code. Most of the default initialization is provided by the servlet container. That's why we are ignoring sometime that init method. Next method called is service method. What this service method is doing, if any request is there from the client, that will take into request object. Any response I want to write, that it will write onto response object. There is a possibility of throwing servlet exception and IO exception. Okay. Service method will take the request, process the response and gives the response to the client. Okay. To write a response, we need one class called print2writer. Okay. The way you write in Java system.out.println, the way you write in JavaScript document.writeln. So like that, to write on the browser window, we need to use print2writer. Okay. Print2writer equal to, you have to get a writer. So this writer is for what? Writing the response. That's why response object provides getWriter method to write something. So by using this PW, now I will write any content onto the screen. Not screen, you call it as a browser. So what I am writing? Welcome to servlets. Then I am displaying something dynamic apps. So this is service method. So as of now, I am not taking any request. Just I am sending a response to that welcome to servlets dynamic web apps. The third method is a destroy method. If no longer this servlet is required, that will be deleted by the web container by calling this word destroy. So before this servlet is deleted from the system, from the web server address space, the destroy method is called for finalization code. If any resources it needs to release, those resources are released. Resources will be released in this destroy method. After that only the memory of this servlet is removed by the web container. Okay. So what is that? Init method, service method and destroy method. This is the life cycle methods of any servlet. So every servlet must extend what is that generic servlet. Now what is your job? You need to compile this program. Once you compile, you will get the dot class file. Okay. So how to compile, So I will go to command prompt. Okay. So E drive, let us, I saved it as CD servlet. You keep in the project folder only. From there only you can compile if you want servlet. I have to compile Java C myservlet.java. Okay. After that, once you compile, you will get the two files. One is what is that? myservlet.class and one more is myservlet.java. What is your job now? Copy this myservlet.class into classes folder. Next, myservlet.java into which folder? You have to copy that into this src folder. Okay. So once compilation is successful, your job is almost done. The next last step is what you have to do? Create web.xml file. Okay. What is this web.xml file? This file is called deployment descriptor. Deployment descriptor. What information it will contains? It is like a diary of, okay, or list of servlets in my container. My container means the servlet container. Okay. The list of servlets available in my container. Whenever request comes to a servlet, first my servlet container will look for this web.xml file. Okay. What this web.xml file will contain? List of servlets which are in the web server. Tell me, as of now, what you did? You deployed your .class file and you deployed your .java file once compilation is successful. Okay. Lastly, go to web.xml file. In web.xml file, so this structure is fixed. You should not change any of this structure content. Okay. Web app is the one element. In that, first element is a servlet. Servlet. For every servlet, servlet name, servlet class. Tell me, my dot class file servlet is what is that? My servlet. This is the logical name you can give anyone. Demo1 is my logical name. Okay. Next, servlet hyphen mapping. So demo1 is the logical name. My servlet is your actual servlet class available in the web server. And remember, you should never access a servlet directly by specifying its class name. For that, you need to give a URL pattern. Okay. For my servlet, I give URL pattern as what? First. Okay. See this structure, how to give URL pattern. / first you have to give. I am repeating. Web.xml file will describe about the list of servlets available in the servlet container. For that you need to give a logical name, the actual class name and a URL pattern. While accessing my servlet, you have to use URL pattern as what? First. Okay. This entire thing is for one servlet. Okay. If you have one more servlet, na, what you have to do, Nana? So simply you have to copy this code. Let us name it as a demo2, right? Let us name it as, so another servlet, something I will give is the dot class file and give the logical name and give the URL pattern for this one as what? Second. There will be only one web.xml file, but you can have any number of servlets inside. So in servlets, what is your responsibility? While creating web.xml, there is a servlet tag and servlet mapping tag. Now my URL pattern is first. So you have to access by using what? First is the name of the URL pattern. Okay. So web.xml file is the deployment descriptor. It will tell how the servlet is deployed and how you can access it. Okay. If this file is there, na, container knows that I have to get my servlet, right, for the request made by the client with the name first. Whenever client makes a request with the name first, it will map to which class? My servlet class. What my servlet is doing? It is displaying the message, welcome to servlets dynamic web applications. Okay. So this is about how the web.xml file is created. For one servlet, this one. If you have 10 servlets, this total highlighted part will be repeat for 10 servlets. But there will be only one web.xml file in the entire project structure. In web-inf, there will be only one web.xml file. The last step here is, once you create the web.xml file, okay, you need to access your servlet from the browser. How you will access? For accessing, first you have to tell server address followed by your application folder name, then URL pattern. Because we are not accessing from any other server, in your system only you are accessing, na? That's why you call it as local host. So your system, in your system only Tomcat is installed, that's why you call it as local host. Otherwise you need to give the IP address of the server from where you are accessing. Next, it is the port number. Port number is 8080. Where you will get that? I shown that already. This 8080 is the port number. Okay, 8080. What is my app folder? My apps. In that you have to specify URL pattern first. So when client access by using the name first, it will goes to the web.xml file, look for the first class name, that is my servlet, that will be loaded into the address space and executes the request. What is my service? It has to display some welcome to servlets dynamic web apps. Now I will execute on the browser. Before executing on the browser, your job is you try to see whether this Tomcat is ready or not. Once it is ready, na, you can execute. Once it is ready, you can execute. Okay, how we can access? Localhost colon 8080 slash, the name is my apps. In that the URL pattern is first. So like this you need to access so that you will get the response from the server. It is came from the server because first is mapping to my servlet. My servlet is in the servlet container that will executes and gives the response to you. So this is the way we need to execute or deploy a servlet. And remember, if you do any changes in this source file, your job is to recompile, again get the updated .class file, place it into the classes folder. Then you need to stop the, what is that, Xampp server, Tomcat server. You need to stop it and you need to start it again. Is it clear? In the servlet code, any changes you do, first you need to recompile. The updated .class file should go into the classes folder. Otherwise, servlet container knows only the first one. And finally, for any changes, you need to stop the server and start the server. So all these steps you need to follow to deploy a servlet. First thing, to import these two, you need to set the environment variables after installing XAMPP. So what is my first step? Install XAMPP. Install XAMPP. After that only it is possible to use this import statement. Then you need to set the two environment variables, create the project structure, write the Java source file, create web.xml file, and finally we can access. So this is the deployment process for a servlet.